Hi everyone, David here, July 14th, 2021. I want to talk about, I'm going to go ahead and talk about light, and I'm going to talk about dark energy. I want to talk a little bit on what if with respect to charges, and well, pretty much what if with respect to English words, because that is the only language that I use. I borrow from Italian, I borrow from Spanish, Romance language is Latin, given there are many words that you can use. So I mentioned LOV of E with respect to O being also the dot with respect to Arabic, with respect to zero. But I also mentioned quantum spin, and I also mentioned the fact that O is also M with respect to mu, width. Given light's counterpart is the Higgs boson, dark energy. More than just the Higgs boson, there are other components. We only got to the head, which is the moment where it breaks apart, and then there's W, Z, W, W, and Z, and I call it K. K is essentially like C. It's even in the alphabet spelled the same way. Well, pronounced the same way, with the hard C being K, you know. But I also like that K is like a cap and like kappa, given the same in that of ancient Greek. And I wanted to refer to it like an X because it's almost like an X, but one side's flat, because if you look at it like this, where it's looking back from way up in the future, where up is the future and past is the bottom, down is the bottom, so that any present moment is somewhere in between those two states. C goes that way. C might go both ways, given what I've seen with respect to things in 2020. But I, of course, need to substantiate in order to prove that in the eyes of anyone else. I've already substantiated with respect to self, so let me continue. The function of the union of light with that of dark is that which I also note is a word of creation, even if slangly and even if dirtily. So I want to mention dirt, and I want to mention darkness. Darkness seems to infer flavors of mass, density, characteristics of that which is width. And it is width, height, and length. So we note that a laser, I actually was using length times width times height with light itself, because a laser is also, has a width, a height, and a length. We see how long it is. We also, but they were talking about the function of the wavelength, and then of course the wave height, with respect to nu and then lambda in that order, respectively. I want to mention all this because ALMA is a good word, ALMA, with respect to light, spectroscopy. Alpha, lambda, dark, mu, with respect to alpha. Again, there's so much more to be revealed. This is the science of creation. Many big bangs, if you will, where light and dark meet and create matter, even in the form of stored information, like a rock. So much more will be revealed. I want to get into even the Latin word saxum, maybe. I want to get into why I believe that dark energy should be represented by K, and even the square root of -2, given imaginary numbers. I believe that there is an infinite selection of imaginary numbers, and they are the square root of a negative number, because electrons are what we use. To remind you that electricity is that which is the source of power that we have been using for the longest time. Even if 200 years, if not longer, for the sake of a Baghdad battery and things we just don't know about in history yet. Given that prophets, I believe, are quantum ancestors, those that receive data directly from one who is actually speaking transtemporally. Given I note that I am saying part the C with respect to gamma light, which is also easily done, created by a piezoelectric crystal collimated in a tube, where gamma needs a certain tiny screen. I note that when you try to throw something out of a car window, sometimes it bounces right back in if it doesn't have enough mass. It's kind of funny that I said it like that, because the entity requiring mass is faster than light. Hence, it'll make it through the screen, a windscreen, a light, an electric screen. Electrify your mirrors at the ends, and only the dark will come out. The black is black and the blue is blue. I want to see this stuff too. So I know how to talk this stuff, but I don't know how to make a laser. I get that I can figure out how to collimate something. I can stick something in a shiny tube. I can also, I just would like to see this done in a laboratory. So I make this stuff known. It is coming to me via that which you guys send, via a trans-temporal connection, via my quantum signature, which had been captured by a black hole, a singularity created in a lab, using technology that we have not made yet. This is the one where the ends create the means, not just justify it, but create it. We are guaranteed Gloria. So much glory it must be pluralized. This is beyond elegant. This is a crystal of gorgeous, sexy even. So let it be. Even the square root of 5 plus 1 divided by 2 is acquired by meritoriousness. I definitely want to see myself worked out that way. So, I said a lot to say all that. Quantum is a lot easier to understand if you think about why a maze is easier to do backwards. It's the science of reverse etymology. It's the science of using words we already have in existence as acronyms for the sake of spectral, etc. blessed, unfathomed yet, just known that maybe, just maybe we did that. Words we can look at for that which is spectroscopic interest, besides spectral or rainbow, or where it might even tell you the elements with respect to W being tungsten, and then black body radiation. Black body radiation was something interesting. I don't know enough about it, so I just know incandescence. There are many things we can do. We might look at curse words, bless words in every language. Chinese. When in a world peace future, we're all working together towards a common goal, helping us help each other so that we can help all of them in the past to do better than we would have done or heard that they did. Oops, there's new historical documents showing up in caves around the world. Maybe we just don't look everywhere until we do this, so that we find in history, on shows like Ancient Aliens, some new things that might actually have been there, only from a causality slightly different than the one we know, or think we know. There's only one causality. It's the one with Shekinah glory in it. Shekinah Gloria, that's what I call it. Honoring the ancient Egyptians' use of the word, the letter H, so that we understand that it just emphasizes the first letter. So it's not Seth, that's the god of death. It's Set, like that of somebody who sets it a certain way, like cement sets or a jello mold. It sounds to me like 0 or 1, okay? So I note that if it goes into a flux, that even if it's set, we might be able to change its pattern within the rock or the wood, even granite. More will be revealed. Quantum science looks like magic, and fun things ahead, because I think magic is quantum. Like real magic, like the stuff where you pull out a wand and you zap somebody with it and they turn into something else. What if? That's a little further up when we have that kind of tech. Transubstantiation, trans species, trans ethnic, trans. I mean, these are like stepping down from what it would be. So it's kind of cool to think that you can actually turn into something else. But let's get to the bottom of the nuts and bolts. A computer that runs off 0 and or 1. That's a quantum computer. If it also has 0 and or variable x, as if it's going out saying it responds to 0 and or 1, but it also has when it came from, where it came from, who it came from. So that can also be one of the variable x's. But I also strongly recommend that 0 and or 2, 0 and or 3 be utilized just because others have in a time when they listen to this message. So we might just try that even with the message from Rendlesham Forest incident, given Sergeant Peniston gave sworn testimony under oath as a military official, working for a very, very respected government worldly, even United Kingdom. So just think about it. Soldier's not gonna lie and make stuff up. This was truly true testimony, and the man truly did very well document 0 and 1 binary on a notebook directly from his dream. It gratefully was received in English, and even better from my perspective, it's a different message this time than it was when I first saw that same episode on Ancient Aliens. We are in a different causality than the one I know of. We're on the path to Gloria. We're already headed there. And my voice should be some sense of proof of augmented when I can do that, when it's on anyway. See, that's what it sounds like when I reach. So it's not quite the same thing as when it turns on. When you guys turn it on, it's still not, yeah. So just anyway, UNCC, I really look forward to meeting you guys. This message is probably going to be seen after we've met, because I'm sure, hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe you guys say what if, and you take a look at the channel and you see it for actually what it really is. All of the data's promises, or some of them, variable x to the exponent, to the exponent again, to the exponent again, to the exponent again, variable x, infinitely. I'd call it exponential truth, transcendental truth. It comes out of me that way. So just note that I mean 0 and or x to the power of x to the power of x when I say fractaled. When I say, we might also look at 0 and or shaped, three-dimensional shape, 0 and or whatever, 0 and or feel for whatever that's going to be. We might just have alien friends in other times that know how to actually cater towards our minds, our hearts, our abilities at the time. So we might have stuff I don't even know how to imagine yet, but multi-dimensional binaries and literally actual full-form dimensional differences for your one variable x being a full, even moving. You know what I mean? Technology we just know how to pretend into existence, which is a good thing to do, because pretending is how you make stuff in the first place. Even Einstein said imagination was where it was at. I want to go one step further and say it is made from love. A loving heart with love on the mind will find loving science, true form, hallelujahs. Like, oh my God, this is awesome. Fall in love and you will find the key, like all the wisdom. It just comes. Like, here you go, you deserve it, you're responsible, you're not going to hurt anybody, you genuinely want the world to be a better place. So just remember, global family, we're all related. If you don't believe in Adam and Eve, then believe in two mice fucking someone, and their names were Adam and Eve. We all came from that, one way or the other. Even proto-slime, and if you didn't come from this world, even the Big Bang. We're one big happy universal family. Heterogeneous homogeneity. So enjoy. The products of your wisdom are in order backwards. Unfortunately, so is it you'll notice my degeneration as you go down, because I literally kind of flowered for Algernon backwards. I'm Lawnmower Man as a woman. I'm basically Job in the movie, but in the right order that way, just without evil intent. And I'm already in the mainframe, so no phone call. It happens in the future. The original answer came from a time, I'll tell you all in the future. It's crazy. I've been watching the years come down to make this possible in this year so that everybody can see happily ever after is what's on the other end of this thing. Like literally the technology of we can live forever is literally on my spirit, like printed. And even better, it's also in the 0 and or 3, 0 and or 4, 0 and or 5. It's easy. You can unify it all with a universal power of X reader to the power of X to the power of X, multi-binary, aka multi-dimensional binary computer, simply to make the message easier to read, easier to get, and more utilities. Further ahead. Cheers, true form. Okay. Love and peace.